This is a bigger story than the mainstream media will show you, so we're going to discuss it. There's been many conversations throughout the years of why the topic of UAPs, UFOs, has been stigmatized. Now, we always talk about it on this show that if anyone watching this show that's into this topic and wants to talk about this topic, when you're around other people who don't follow it, it's more like it's the UFO guys talking about aliens. That thing, that stigmatized thing, has been one of the reasons for so long that it's taken as long as it has to have a hearing, to have these things that are happening on November 13th, because it's just been, and it's one of the main reasons I talk about it with the mainstream media. They don't bring it up at all because of the fact that it's been stigmatized. Well, there seems to be a major reason for that. There's a new FOIA document that came out pretty much saying that this was the government's plan all along. Not only to stigmatize it through announcements and all these other things, but to do it through the media. So check this out. This is from Disclosure Party, who writes, a newly released Navy FOIA document, Navy, indicates that the U.S. government intentionally, this is from Disclosure Party, a newly released Navy FOIA document, the Navy, indicates that the U.S., the government intentionally created stigma around the UFOs, fearing it could disrupt the body politic. They discussed using public education to debunk UFOs through mass media, advertising, business clubs, schools, and even Disney. Many still don't realize there was a coordinated effort to create stigma around the UFOs. So if you think this topic sounds like a conspiracy theory, this is why. A new naval FOIA doc shows how a government panel in 1963 decided to increase stigma around UFOs after investigation concluded that it could disrupt body politic, a policy of public education and debunking through mass media, advertising, business clubs, schools, and even the Disney Corporation. So the challenges of reporting, strong stigma associated with reporting of unknown, unidentified objects, DoD leadership direction, and communications to encourage reporting have driven increased awareness, confusion on reporting practices and requirements, multiple reporting chains for safeties and other inciting reports, incident reports, reporting mechanisms often cumbersome and not easily scaled, continuing to work with interagency to refine reporting requirements and ensue deconfliction with U.S. programs and operations. So having completed its investigation, the panel concluded that the UFOs did not constitute a direct physical threat to national security, and consequently there was no need for a revision of current scientific concepts. The panel further concluded that continued emphasis on the reporting of UFOs in those perilous lines would reveal its threat to the orderly functioning of the protective organism of the body politic. To meet these problems, the panel recommended that the National Security Council debunk UFO reports and institute a policy of public education to release the public of the lack of evidence behind UFOs. It suggested using the mass media, advertising, business clubs, schools, and even the Disney Corporation. This is a public document now through FOIA, through the Navy. And this is another thing that adds, I guess, to this entire story. And I emphasize this every single time. Even if you don't believe in any of this stuff, if this is an official document and that this was acquired through FOIA, if I'm a reporter on any one of these networks, now I know they're covering other shit right now. I understand that. I know there's a lot more going on that people are talking about. But sitting around in a panel saying, hey, what about this document? What about this? It is curious in the fact that you look at the way that media has been used to stigmatize this topic in general and how different this topic has been perceived by many of you and other people since the internet has really become a place where you can't really govern it. You know, you can try, but you really can't stop it. And you can certainly put out other types of information out there to combat it, whether it's misinformation or whatever it might be. But you can't get people to stop talking about it in the way that you could if you are using the network. And and when they write this in the 60s, they have the networks are very, was it like 7 channels, if that? And you say, okay, put it on one of these channels. This is what you say. Debunk it. Don't take it seriously. Project Blue Book type stuff. And that is what we will continue to do. And they have stuck by that for a very long time. The question is, will it be able to continue moving forward? Because this is very interesting. And it was a story to me that was brought to my attention by Pavel, and I saw it and I was reading it and I was like, this is crazy. And even in this community, the fact that this isn't going around, I know that right now everybody's focused on the hearings. There's another hearing that they're going to do, I think, at the same time, and I'll report on that tomorrow. But I just thought that this story was just too big to not talk about. That everything that we always talked about when it came to this topic of one of the biggest weapons that the Lockheed Martins and Mike Turners and all those people have is that stigma thing of. And look at what Governor Christie did when he was running in the primaries. I get the UFO questions? Come on. Everybody else gets the real questions and I get the UFO questions? Come on. That is this document, basically, to a T. That is, and whether or not I feel he's clueless about it, but my point is, it's been used so long that is the kind of mentality that you get of the kind of laughing it off, people chuckling in the audience and all that. And I think what is more important is if you take that to what is happening today, where in this document that I just read you from the 60s, they talk about how they determined that it was non-hostile. That seems very similar to what just happened with Langley when the Pentagon said not hostile. So what the hell is going on? There has been this hearing that has been set. Yesterday, we talked about the potential witnesses that are coming. Apparently now, Christopher Mellon is not going to testify. So furthering that conversation yesterday, well, if it is just Lou Elizondo and Timothy Gallaudet, if that's all you got, then you're definitely not going to have a very monumental hearing. So one would think that you're going to have more witnesses than just those two gentlemen, which will have impact, but it shouldn't be the only two. But the question is, will the stigma that I just read, will that start to lift with any of the information that is put forward? Because it lifted a little bit after even the events of the last year. But can it continue to lift more and more and more? That will be the question. So very curious to what you guys think about this document. Is this something that you had even heard of? Put your comments in there. Tell me exactly what you think. I got to know. Thanks for joining me here today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm most likely going to do a live stream on the 13th for the hearing. So be part of this channel for that day, and you can watch it along with me. I will be here watching it. So thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. If you want to help out the show and you want to become a member, you can become a member. But if not, you sign up to Mint Mobile, and I'll tell you how to do that right now. You know, with big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. So I had been using the regular providers for a bit, and I'm not going to lie, you hear about Mint Mobile all the time. And I was like, how true is this? True. Very true. It is straight up. They tell you the truth with how this thing works. You got to say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. You use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan, just $15 a month, you got to go to mintmobile.com/DTE. That's mintmobile.com/DTE. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/DTE. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower, above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.